What's up? Good morning. Market's open in here. Technically a short. This is technically a low risk pre-market short. Yeah, we'll see. No need to gamble to open, but I would have liked this to sell off here first. We got news at 10. Let's see, I like my 15-second. And let's see right now. Get shareable link. Boom. Stream link. Boom. Let's go. Game plan. Okay. All right. My plan was to take a short pullback from here. Line it up nicely. The 50% retracement. This is a short reversal here. This is a beautiful reversal candle. That's what it's supposed to look like. Where's the path? Path tool. You have high, close, or say open, goes higher, then goes lower. Sucked the longs in, trapped him, went short. All right. Let's look at this, why don't we? We're going to keep it real simple. Line chart. Man, this raspberry creatine powder is nasty. I'm about to get back to the new day opening gap here. New day opening gap is at 477. We have an actual gap at basically 19.5. So the market could be pulling up to here. The actual level though is 97.25. Okay, so on the 1 minute, tricky. Let's see this here. All right, so we just tapped the moving average I like, the level I like. This is the trade that I plan. What entry do I want to take? Right, so I'm not going to take the first entry. It's a little too eager. We have this gap up here, by the way. So if this just sells off and I miss it, then I miss it. It's all good. I need to figure out some copyright free tunes. All right. So technically this was an entry at 446 on this line chart. Strategy I've been thinking about. So you would have had on the 1 minute line chart, little structure here when this breaks, because remember we tapped the moving average from my game plan. And let's see, game plan is here. Short pullback from 520 SMA. This is the pullback, 520 SMA, short. Not the entry that I'm looking for though. Just I'm forward testing this line chart strategy. Alrighty. No Spotify hooked up on this. All right, so here we go. 50% of this range here. being respected, a little sloppy as expected here. No inefficiency yet. We're below VWAP. We're below the new day opening gap. We're below the new week opening gap. We're below the moving averages. So everything's saying short. So you could try to get in where you fit in. 50% pullback right here. That's actually a nice looking candle. This candle right here is a beauty. Beauty. Well, interesting. Tap back into where that line chart was getting me in on the 1 minute. This is the high of this. So this is another entry here. Another entry there. I guess you would be adding to your position. Okay, so the close is now about to bounce off 50% of that range. Excuse me, you got 50% of this range. Man, I love the candlesticks, but the line chart's looking really simple. Let's do, they don't have the OG. Let's see, apply default. 6-1 is here. Let's get rid of that for now. Another nice looking candle. This is a nice looking candle. Cool, easy, baby. Good girl, baby. All right, 50% of the range. No inefficiency yet on the 1 minute. Could 50% here would be a turtle soup also. Channel action here. All right. So what could it be waiting to do at news? Obvious news target. So we hit consequent encroachment of the daily wick, lower wick, yesterday's daily chart. Good girl. All right. Now, this type of momentum, this gap play looks really, really, really good. My trading plan calls for me to short this moving average though. So got to be flexible. Man, I do kind of like it to the maybe the market manipulates up to here and at news sells off. What's it want to do before the news? Okay, inside down close on the 1 minute here for a short signal from, okay, 18 seconds left, no longer down close. We're at VWAP, we're at the moving average. What is my trigger? Got a little tiny, this is a inside up close. Interesting. All right, that looks like a trigger right there. Oh man, it's this 15-second chart. I'm trusting it less and less. It's a little bit too low, noisy lately. Double trigger from my location. I gotta take that. So win, lose, or draw, I had to take that trade. Okay with this stop. Okay with this target. Now, let's just look at something really simple. That gap above makes this honestly not A++, super plus. But really should be starting to respect this moving average here. It's kind of going flat a little. And it didn't fail here too far. So we'll just have to see. All right, looks like we got our turtle soup there. So let's see if this little bit of space I gave will work. Kind of a nice to go long towards this gap, honestly. That's why I said it's kind of a nice long. But this was in my plan. I had to take this trade because I would have really regretted not taking it. So I followed my plan. Entry here. Yeah, I mean, I got a good entry on a good candle. this momentum is not ideal. Honestly, this is a nice impulse leg up. So you're probably looking at a measured move. So measure from here to there, pull back to here. Let's edit this. That's a measured move here. So yeah, we're going to get this gap. Actually, let's do this. Edit, trend line off. One. Make this yellow. Yellow. Save as measured move. All right, tag the gap perfectly. Measure move hit. Don't need prices, don't need levels. Save as measured move. All right. One clean small loss according to my plan, which is all gravy. Market's doing what I thought. When I said right here, it's kind of a nice long for this. It just wasn't in my plan. Should have kind of took note of that gap, honestly. However, I'm getting a different reading now on the gap. 524. $524. This is where the gap is? Where did I get that from? Okay, and this was initial imbalance too, actually. So 1 minute. Here, here. Initial imbalance. Swing to that swing. All right. This is, let's see, 15-second chart. Different VWAPs based on the time frame, which I don't love at all. It's an anchored VWAP to yesterday's open. Let's anchor one from today. Okay. Tag the gap. Coincided perfectly with new week opening gap. I'm gonna take a short from here. Pretty great area to take a short from in terms of risk to reward. Probably wait. I'll wait to get the to play the news. Wouldn't mind putting a Green Day on the board. but more concerned with performance, which is good so far. Okay, really weird. Big candle. Okay, there's the volume. I have to say no volume. Is it going to want to push through this and run? Or is it going to want to sell off from here? Inside down close is a short signal. Whew. Hard to go short this close to the news. New week opening gap. I gotta go short because this area is just really where it all happens. I'm not gonna risk 50. Half the gap is 37.50. I'm at 37.25. Go up 37.75. Got the 200 period moving average here. Liquidity swept. New week opening gap. A lot of confluences. If it fails from here, I'm just going to regret not taking a trade. Also, the move's overextended, so it kind of due for a pullback. But we'll see. This momentum could be legit. They might really want to run it up before news. Let's see. Gonna practice looking at a line chart while I'm in a trade. Realistic target for this is probably no more than 50% of the actual. Let's see. Yeah, probably this low. But I don't know. I'll trail it. I'll go for a 50% retracement. Okay, do I really want to take a $25 loss after that kind of break? Could close break even on the day and make my earlier loss back. Below VWAP. Tempting. Definitely tempting to close that. We'll see. Okay, don't need. Let's look at this. Okay, slightly annoying, but that's just part of trading. Let's see. Showing strength. So it didn't retrace that far. Back to the week opening gap. Will I re-enter is the question. Probably not. Go. Easy, baby. Easy. Will I regret it though? If I get a super clean entry or trigger, we're at yesterday's initial imbalance lined up with new week opening gap. So this is kind of a nice long here, honestly. But just not sure. It's acting like it really wants to break. Already swept that high. It's back lower than 50% on this leg, so that kind of tells you it wants to break a little lower. Shouldn't be back below this after this. VWAP break. Pros trade the close. Okay. The gap is tagged. Bouncing off new week opening gap. Just trying to think what makes the most sense at news. Given this manipulation up. Okay. Okay, 50% of this leg is here. Take this gap off now. Don't need it anymore. Back above VWAP. So chopping around VWAP. Yeah, I like it to kind of run up and then dump for news. Does that make sense? Or do we want to revisit yesterday's highs? Let's check the daily. Kind of a doji on the day. Already swept yesterday's highs. Tagged. Consequent encroachment of the lower wick from yesterday. I mean, the simple answer is if we get above the new week opening gap, it's low-key bullish. See, this leg, nice displacement in it. So you like 50% of this to hold, and it's kind of lining up with the new week opening gap. And this looks like a rally-based rally because the pullback is pretty shallow. It didn't hit 50%. Could be going into a broadening formation leading up to this. Very tempting to buy right here. Very tempting to buy right here. Although I see the narrative for a short too. Liquidity swept here. Judas swing here. Downside session model. And we still are at the low of the new week opening gap. And beneath the 200s. So, yeah, a little bit mixed signals here, bro. Not the greatest probability. Oh man, I'm kind of regretting not taking my taking the loss that I had earlier, taking the profits back to go break even. It's kind of one theory, like if you take an L, the next trade to get you back square, take those profits to protect your initial capital so that you always are at your starting capital every chance you get. Yeah, so here we have higher low, lower high, higher low. Are these equal? Okay, low risk pre-news entry is about to be in effect here. Got to be really quick. If I get a trigger. Looks like I would need a long trigger. I'm not going long before this news event. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Tapped VWAP here. Moving average is basically flat there. We're trapped between the 200 and the 20. This is yesterday's New York Open and anchored VWAP. Percent of this move. Initial imbalances here. Does it make sense to want to go down there? Let's look at the hourly chart because we just had the hourly flip too. Big outside range mother bar on the hourly. So we got to get outside of this range somehow. We're above the new day opening gap, below the new week opening gap. All right, so but the last hourly, even though it's outside, was a bullish reversal. So, and we put in the wick. So this is the wick on the hourly. If we're going to have a bullish candle, accumulation, manipulation, distribution here. Oh man, almost just bought right there. Let's see if that would have been a FOMO move. Because this is new week opening gap in 200. If it breaks, it should do so with some velocity. Nice bullish 1 minute candle. Let's see, 50% of this range. Lining up here. Just looking at this other screen. I don't have my indicators on this this platform, so it's a little bit hard. Turtle soup. Short narrative. This is a trampoline. Trampoline, low risk. Last down close bar before the push should bounce here. Come on, baby. Upside target is 9555. Got a gap here. Let's go hourly. Let's get some targets here. I think this is about yesterday's high. I'll try to trail. I'll go for the highest body close as a target and try to trail to see if this wants to, if some momentum wants to come in here, what we can catch. Going to be hard not to take my loss off the table, but I'm going to try. Micro double top here too, so could get a micro double top reversal. New week opening gap, it's they gotta want to push it here. So let's go, baby. Let's go, baby. I'm allowed to root for myself. Oh, come on. Oh, come on, get. I'm not taking an L on this. I give it a little room. But I'm not taking a major L. There we go, baby. There we go. There we go. How much of this am I willing to give back? Not that much. Get. All right, I'm at least locking my loss from earlier plus a little something something. Okay. I'll risk 1 bar size of 1 move down. Does that make sense? So this amount, a measured move of the previous bar, which is here. So I'm risking this to make this, which is still a good trade. Very nice, dude. That is nice. So I'm not giving back that much of this. It's going to either get or I'm happy with this profit. So I don't want it to reverse all the way back on me here. Give it a little room. Don't want to get... That's pretty strong too, dude. This is pretty strong. I'll give it a little room. It's pretty strong. Come on. Giving you a little room. Bull flag. Let's go. All right. Well, cool. Easy, dude. Was able to get on the right side of the market. See, this is the thing. I had a short bias. Oh, man, look at that. Right at the top of the channel, bro. Should have took profits here and got back in. Or just took profits there. Where was my entry here? Go easy, mama. Easy. Yo, yo, yo. What's up? Got in on this candle based off of this candle. This candle is like what I call the trampoline. Last down close candle before liquidity, it becomes the order block used to bounce price up. So it's either a cliffhanger, I call it, on the downside, or a trampoline on the upside. It's actually not a high probability trade. It's just one of the only ways I've seen to actually get involved in this kind of move without it being like chasing price. I think I'm going to probably be done for the day though. Green day is good for me. Not that big. Small loss according to my plan here. Pull back to this moving average. I wanted it. Even though this impulse leg should have been a red flag. Price chopped away from the moving average, so the trend and momentum is dying out here. And when it rips back up, I just had to take this because if it would have failed, I wouldn't have followed my plan. So like, you just have to follow your plan and trust, the odds. This does make the odds lower, but thinking about my mental state in the likelihood that even this lower probability trade that was in my plan does play out, but I didn't take it, I would have been more hurt than I was by just taking a normal small loss. So that small loss is better than the missing a trade that would have worked out. All right, so I'm good for today. Peace out. Whoever's viewing there, got one viewer. I actually trade live like this just to talk out loud. Makes me smarter and to keep myself accountable. So if you dig it, give me a thumbs up. All right, peace out. Have a great day, and thanks for